Hi everyone, this is Phoenix Normand, and I am super excited to finally be going back on the road with a new program that I've recently crafted called EA3x. And really, what this is about is sort of um, what my journey has been like over the past year and a half of going from being a top performing executive assistant in the C-suite to now being a chief of staff. And what I wanted to do more than anything is really kind of circle back, as most of you know me and know what I've done prior with Tribe as well as Tribe U, is really give executive assistants something that they're not getting, perhaps, in their sort of day to day training, learning, all of it. And I always believed that the the sort of chief of staff role is one that should never ever exclude executive assistants. I've basically proven the model. I took a year, literally exactly to the date, of wanting to prove that executive assistants at a certain level and with a certain level of business acumen, experience, networking, all of that could actually become viable chiefs of staff. And I proved the model and became a chief of staff in a year. So I'm circling back to find a way to actually pay that forward and teach executive assistants how I did it, what was necessary, what sort of business acumen I had, what education gaps they may have currently in their role, and do it in a way that is a little bit immersive. Those of you that have taken my classes before know that you walked away with some good knowledge and some action steps to really sort of increase your, I call it, social capital at work. But this is different. This is transformation. This is going from what I've always believed to be a cap, meaning executive assistant to the CEO or to a C-suite executive, to now a chief of staff role at level one, level two, that allows you to have even more of an effect on your company in a very tangible way, but more specifically uh, for the executive and for the executive's leadership team, be that the CEO or a C title. Um, it allows you to be truly a force multiplier. So again, I'm super excited to be doubling back and finally getting back on airplanes, planes, trains, automobiles, everything in between to bring this to you in a way that I know will be sticky and in a way that I know will help you not only see the possibility of becoming a chief of staff, but actually bringing it into reality. So, do me a favor if you get a moment, go to ea3x.com and take a peek. That should give you all the information that you need to know a little bit more about the program and what I'll be bringing around the world once again. And also where I will be landing in a city, hopefully near you. Additionally, and this isn't necessarily on the website, I'm in the process of crafting an online course version of this so that obviously, if you aren't able to make it to one of the programs in person, which I highly recommend, you'll actually be able to follow along and actually really sort of learn all of the steps that I took in order to become a chief of staff and learn that in a way that's, you can sort of take it in your own time and use it as a resource to sort of have that conversation. That's really what all this is about, is really sort of putting forth, especially if you're an executive assistant, putting forth the possibility and what that actually looks like, how you can actually directly move into it. I've always believed that executive assistants truly are the right hand of their executive, and especially in the C-suite. No one has the access, the knowledge, the relationships built up and down the chain, the internal and external relationships built more so than a really good top performing executive assistant. And really, I honestly believe the next step, and I've proven it, is to really allow them to sort of spread their wings even further. Executives really are looking for that true right hand. It's evident in Silicon Valley, where I'm from, for instance, where companies are starting to lean into the chief of staff role, first of all. But really, if you boil it down, they're looking for that level one, that level two. That's something just beyond executive assistant to sort of help force multiply them. A lot of, I find, chiefs of staff at this level really sort of take the skills that they learned as top performing executive assistants and really build in all of that extra stuff that sadly C-suite executives are still sort of holding on to. They're able to hand that off now to someone who has not only proven their competency, but then also proven that, they're in it to win it, just as passionate about the company and the products as they are. So why not, give executive assistants who've already done the work, who've already built the relationships, who've already sort of built the internal social capital, the opportunity to pay that forward and the opportunity to really dive into the things that they've actually been asking for is probably since joining the company. But then, sort of putting that information and expertise and experience into action on behalf of their executive as well as the C-suite and force multiplying them in a way that they may not need from a Wharton's chief of staff, for instance, or a Yale chief of staff. They really just need someone to step even further forward to take existing information, data, relationships, et cetera, and really force multiply from there. So again, that's another reason why I'm going kind of hard in the paint on this one, and really showing that transition from C-suite executive assistant to like a level one chief of staff. I honestly believe that's where the gap is. It's not necessarily in chiefs of staff that are much higher, depending upon obviously the company that you work for, the role that it entails, and all of that. But it's more around where is the gap in business right now, especially startups, early stage companies, that sort of thing. Where is the gap? Where can we really slot in someone to force multiply? And the beauty of that is if you do that with your executive assistant knows how to hire backward or sideways, I should say, and find a replacement that allows that sort of duality to exist. If you really want to know what makes companies really click on all cylinders, in my opinion, and I'm biased, it's the chief of staff executive assistant combo. That's really what's going to take this to a whole new level, something completely stratospheric, and create a dynamic that really force multiplies, of course, the chief executive and also the leadership team, but also allows, if you think about it, that amazing amount of relationship building that has probably happened for a number of years or at least a number of months even, that you just won't get hiring someone fresh off the street. So there you go. That's what I'm up to of late, and why I'm going so hard on this. So again, feel free if you're interested, go to EA3x and grab a slot. Quick heads up, I've decided I only want about like 12 to 15 people per each of those workshops all around the world. So don't hesitate. And the reason why is it's deeply immersive. Like I am going really hardcore into the immersion aspect of this because I believe the only way you really, for something to really stick, you almost have to live it. You almost have to experience it. And I can talk to you all day and, like this way too long intro, but I could talk all day until I'm blue in the face, and you may or may not grasp 90% of it. But if you're able to actually put into action everything that I'm telling you and everything that I'm trying to teach you, it's much easier to sort of replicate that down the line when, for instance, emergencies come, which is a lot of the immersion that I'll be doing in EA3X is deep immersion into real life scenarios that I've actually already dealt with. So I already know what the outcomes were. But really allowing people to sort of dive in small groups of 3 to 5 people and really figure out what does, for instance, going from emergency to solution look like, and what's your thought process around that? How are you thinking about bringing people into the room who are relevant and who can actually help you solve the problem? That to me is the best way to learn, not someone's kind of wagging their finger at you or throwing fancy events and all that. It's more around how can I really dive into the work and come up with my own version of what I consider to be the solution and compare that to everyone else within the room, hear what the actual solution was, and sort of compare and contrast and figure out, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. And hopefully you'll walk away feeling like you're ready, because I honestly believe a lot of executive assistants at a certain level and at a certain experience level are ready. They just want the opportunity. And now the opportunity is here. So thank you all so much for your support over the years. I'm really, again, excited about EA3X. Please sign up. I think it'll be something that's quite transformative. I don't say that word just to say it. I mean it. It will hopefully transform your perspective more than anything, and really get you on a path that is viable. Like I said, I've proven the model. So yeah, you have someone that's actually walked the talk, not just talking. So thank you very much. Again, go to EA3x.com for more information. My name is Phoenix Normand, and I hope to see you soon in a city near you.